Hi and welcome to Add More Zest, and my name's Rebecca, also known as 4Kids at 147. Happy 14th of December, everybody. I've been very excited for this day. Very excited for this day because this is one of the bigger items in our 24-day Advent. It's the biggest bag that we have for an item, so I've been excited to show you guys this one. So I'm going to open day 14 first before we get into the canvas. But in the Advent this year, we do have a diamond painting, a mini diamond painting. So this gorgeous image, Diamond Art Studio worked with us for this one, though this is exclusive to us. And yeah, it's this gorgeous scene. I started off with a tree and Sam brought it all to life and made it absolutely amazing. So it does have 37 colours and it does have 4 ABs in with it. It is a square. I know some people do only like to do round, but with it being such a small one, I thought this may give people a chance to have a go with a square that's not too daunting. So yeah, today's is this gorgeous image. You do get your stickers for your bottles and you do get your diamonds all in there as well. So yeah, that is today's Advent prize. As if we don't all have enough diamond paintings to do, or enough Advent projects to do, we will throw another one into the mix. So yeah, that is Advent calendar day 14, and now to move on to painting day 14. We are finishing up our cassette tape for today's. I'm using this beautiful pen that was gifted to me by P Jelly, and I'm using the glitter tray, the blue glitter zesty tray from April 2023. We're going to have a couple of sides that need the rhinestones popping on, the ones that touch each other. But we'll do, or I'm going to do the white first, just because that's what I've been following recently, is to do the white first. But I hope everybody's having a wonderful day, week, and all the rest of it. One set of our bins has been emptied here, so it's a good day here. Bin strike was finally called off last Friday, and our bin days are Thursday. Isn't that always the way? But anyway, one set's been emptied. The next set will get emptied next week, so at least we will be able to clear the decks before Christmas, should we say. Right, comments, etc. Great Rish says, excellent idea to have a few options for AMZ prizes for winners. Thank you. Kim, she says, how in the world do you come up with 24 gifts for the Advent? With a lot of brainstorming, it gets tougher and tougher each year. Trying not to get, too much of a crossover, trying to have the more expensive items in with the cheaper items to make the whole Advent cost effective, but still not, providing disappointment on a particular day because it's less than other days. It's entertaining is what it is. It can be a challenge, but it can be fun, and it does sort of brew in the mind for a while as to different options that can be included in the Advent before final decisions are made. But yeah, it's always entertaining. Had a couple of samples of things turn up as potentials for the Advent. Also found a couple of other things that quite excited that may work for next year's Advent. So yeah, we've been putting things into place already, but sometimes it takes a little bit for the sort of final decisions to be made on some items. She said we had a secret Santa thing at work, and she only had to find one thing to give to the person. She said you would have thought that she'd been asked to come up with a gift idea for a dozen people. See, I do have the basis that it's diamond painted related primarily, so that does make it a little bit easier. If something's not diamond painting related, of which there's probably a couple of things that aren't, one being the cross stitch that we've already had, I try to, well, one, I don't tend to do a non-diamond painting related item as like one of the higher priced items in the Advent, but I try, if not, for it to be something that the majority would probably give a go, because cross stitch is very similar to diamond painting. It's a crafty thing. So yeah, it's something that people may be willing to give a go, or if not, as say, it's not the highest value item in there, or it's not one of the higher value items in there, which means that, yeah, if they do decide to pass it on, they're not losing value that they've paid for the calendar itself. But it can definitely be tricky. It can be. She said they had their work party today, and she believes she did a fine job. She said at least they didn't throw the present back at me. We do that when I used to have the corporate job, should we say, and we did a Secret Santa. They always used to attach 3 gift ideas or themes to the Secret Santa. So whoever you got picked, there was also like 3 ideas of things there as well, which could give people a chance of getting it right if they didn't know the person that well, depending on how much they spoke to them at work. So that definitely made things easier. She said she has loved every day of the gifts of the Advent so far, and she knows the remaining gifts will be just as fun. She says thank you so much for your hard work. She says tell Megan to book up and get ready for 2024, because your mind is abuzz with ideas. I know, I do keep pecking ahead. Even if it's to get things set up or to help me get things lined up for certain things I want to do, so that I can start preparations in January. So I think she's going to give me a bit of time between Christmas and New Year to maybe have a couple of zesty days where we plot and plan and get things all lined up for 2024, and then I can put the work in after that. So we shall see how it goes. Right, I've got a diamond that is red that does not belong in this pile, and then I had one with a bubble that also does not belong on my painting. Peaches and Diamonds said, hi Rebecca. She said she has so enjoyed this year's Advent. She got the calendar but not the painting, but she is doing a square a day with me. She's doing Hanging in There from Money Made, which is a 40 by 40. She said, thank you for keeping me company while I paint. Well, thank you for joining me. I'm filming this, say, the night before. I often film the night before, apart from maybe at a weekend. So it's Wednesday as I'm speaking to you guys, which is my general sort of clean the house day, do housey bits alongside the usual emails and orders, but I don't tend to do any other stock preparation, things like that. I don't do that on a Wednesday. It's me giving me my weekend day back. So I actually did sit and diamond paint this afternoon. It took me a while to get going, and I was nearly like, oh, I can't be bothered cleaning the house today. I'll fit it in around at the weekend. And then I was like, no, you feel so much better when it's done. So go do it. Just don't spend ages on one room. Just go and give everywhere just a once over. So I did that, and then I went and packed orders and got them all ready for the postie, and then I was able to sit and diamond paint at about 3:30. So that was quite nice. I've not diamond painted in a weekday afternoon. Well, I've not diamond painted on a weekday, I think, since I was doing my Heaven and Earth design and doing my section a day. And that was because that was set as a challenge to me. Was the only reason I got to do that. So it was quite nice this afternoon. Debbie, she says, good morning. She said it is a rainy day there in Cornwall. She has been up since 6. She said, desperately trying to get this 50 by 70 Ever Moment diamond painting done for her daughter for Christmas. Today she is helping her daughter deep clean her house, so she is trying to catch up on the Advent videos before she goes. She said, have a great day. I tell you to have a great day. I don't know if deep cleaning a house would class as a great day. Have a great time with your daughter. Maybe that's the better way of putting it. It is satisfying to have a deep cleaned house. It's just not as satisfying to actually do it. But then again, I'm not a huge fan of cleaning. I'm a huge fan of a clean space. I'm just not a huge fan of getting it there. Doesn't excite me the same. Oh, just spotted a rhinestone floating about on my case. So just pick that up. Let's pop some, oh, tipped far too many out, but let's pop some rhinestones down around these edges. So I'm not going to do any across that part until I finish, well, it'll be day 24 for that one. But I will do going up here. And if I can get hold of them properly. And I am nestling them close together, but I'm also not worrying if they scoot a bit further up than they're supposed to, because it tends to be, or so far it seems to be evening itself out enough. At some point along the way I lose a square, but it all even, as long as it evens out and matches at the top, I'm all good. Shadow Kitty, she says, happy day 8, everyone. She really loved the measuring tape. She said it was a great addition to my collection. She plans on using it when looking for frames, as well as measuring the painting and her wall to see where she can put a painting. She said she was extremely slow on this day. And she's actually typing her comment before she finishes her section. But she said, see you tomorrow. Some days we are slower than others. We just have days like that. It's just taking a little bit to nestle these in today. At least this is nudging my diamonds straight if they weren't straight. Nudge my little rows until they're straight as a pin. It'll neaten everything up. It'll be quite nice once they're all done. Diana, she says, Rebecca, she says she signed up for the giveaway, but she's not sure if it took. She said it said not to do more than one. She said, is there some way that you can check if I'm entered properly? If you bob us an email, just use the contact us form on our website, or reply to any emails you've gotten from us, and I'll get Megan to check. Because Megan has the access to the spreadsheet with all the entries on, so she'll be able to check. Just give her a day or so, because dependent on work will depend on how quick she can reply. It is nativity season in the primary schools. She says she hates to miss out on entering her first giveaway. Yeah, just check with Megan, or say, bob us an email on the contact us form, and I'll get Megan to check and reply to you and let you know whether it's all gone through. She says she's not lucky at all. She says, but not entering would make her sad. She said thank you, and she's glad to hear that I'm getting better. Well, say we'll definitely check for you. There's quite a few prizes going, so you never know. We've had people that don't tend to win before, so there's always a chance. Ina said, hello Rebecca. She says she hasn't commented in a while because she was way too busy, and she did have a lot going on in her mind. She said so often just left an emoji. Quite a lot of times people do just reply with an emoji just to say they've been here, even if they've not got something to say, which is quite nice. I do go through comments and give a little heart reaction to let people know I've seen their emoji, or their comment, depending on what video it's left, and I leave that little heart reaction when I read out a video as I'm going through doing these WIP and Waffles too. So if you ever get an email saying that I've reacted to your comment, depending on your YouTube preferences, then you know I've probably been filming and reading it while I'm going through for a WIP and Waffle. She said thank you for all you and your family are doing to keep us going. She says, and congratulations on your new office space / zesty zone. She says she has seen a sneak peek somewhere, and she's looking forward to the complete video tour. She said, very nice to have your house and craft room back again, and to be able to leave the business behind closed doors. Yes, it's also been handy when I need to do quite a bit of printing, which I've needed to do to sort of play catch up recently, because I can just nip in and set the printers going and nip back out again, and I don't have to listen to them. It's awesome. She said yesterday she completed a Christmas diamond painting of a 40 by 30, which she started half in November while listening to 3 days of December WIP and Waffles. She says, thanks for keeping me company and to have a bit of me time when she needed it most. Oh, she says, on today's WIP and Waffle, she said she is making her storage prettier and putting her diamonds away, drills away from yesterday's painting. She said she wishes everyone nice holidays. Lots of different diamond painting tasks between finishing a painting and doing your spare storage. It's always fun to team it up together. I do keep popping my pot on my grip mat. It's still over here from yesterday. And I decided it wasn't in the wrong place, so it could go there and it can keep hold of my tops just like it was doing. Phoenix Dragon says, thanks for all the great content. Looked at the pictures that I put up and they're looking forward to a shop tour. Merry Christmas to you and your family and Happy New Year for 2024. Thank you. Yes, there is a couple of, or there's at least one, maybe two pictures up here on YouTube. And there may be a couple on Facebook as well. I know hubby's put some pictures up of us sort of getting settled in the space. It keeps getting tidy when I get stuff done, and then it gets full of stuff I need to do again. So I did get my desk cleared last week. It now has more stuff on it. We just had another delivery of the cover paper, which I need to prepare ready for printing and then prepare for packaging. So that'll keep me busy. Also had some other restocks and bits as well. One of them actually I need to put back on the website. Get the stock back up of that one. It's just our wooden pen that has been restocked. Finally, it's been stuck in customs for weeks. I thought it was never going to get out of customs. I thought it was lost. They've been stuck there for ages while we've been waiting for, because we needed a full restock, because we hadn't ordered quick enough to restock it without it going out of stock because of the move and getting sidetracked with that. Of course, it took longer to arrive than it normally does. It's normally the way things go. Magic Moonchild said they would love to see this electric blue tray again, but in the style of this month's tray with the pearlescent coating. Yeah, we are going to be testing a few more different brands of filament. We have got a couple of different brands of filament that we want to try, so you never know what will be coming in the future. A few different things up our sleeves to try and test some filaments and test some other colours, and yeah, bring some more exciting trays to the mix. But I must say, this month's is a gorgeous colour combo, and it looked so much better once it was in a tray than it did on the roll. Like, as soon as it went to a tray, it just came alive. Cat Lady says she's putting her decorations up over the course of a few days this year. She says she just doesn't have the stamina to do it all in one foul swoop. She says she started with wreaths and advents, then the trees, and today she is swapping out wall pictures for winter/Christmas themed ones. She said tomorrow she's going to attack the stairs and the hall windowsills, and then she will put out the final bits in the lounge and dining room. Sometimes I think it's much more enjoyable doing it that way. Bit by bit, little bit by little bit. And just take time with it rather than it being one whole mission. And house going from non-Christmas to Christmas. It can also be nicer for that to be staggered as well. And the house to slowly get festive. Mysterious Days, she says, hey Rebecca. She says, we actually only have their tree up with lights and garland. Normally they put up ornaments, but she hasn't felt up to it. And during her burst of energy, she redid her room. She says, good news, my desk and chair should be arriving today. And this was a few days ago. She said, fingers crossed that both boxes come, as the desk comes in 2 separate boxes that may ship separately. And it would be torture to have one and not the other. I agree. Should just tell them all or nothing. Ship it all or don't ship any. Because you can't do anything with one half without the other half anyway. She says she diamond painted along for half of the waffle, working on day 3 of her Diamond Art Studio Advents. She's almost done. And then last night she finished Potions Professor from Diamond Art Club, which she's been working on since September the 1st. She said her goal for 2024 diamond painting wise is definitely finishing out her WIPs and clearing her stash. Even though she only has 10 in her stash, most are big and stored under her bed. That is not a bad goal. I still need to think of my goals for 2024, so I'm loving hearing what yours are. Might help me to decide what mine is. Working through all of my stash is not a realistic goal for me. So a couple that I've had, well, last year my goal and my only goal was to finish my massive Heaven and Earth design, which I did. That got finished. The year before, I think I had a couple. I know one of them was to use AB diamonds in my paintings more. Or was that this year's? I need to go back and look on my videos, but I know I've done one that involved using more ABs and swapping out diamonds in paintings, and I did do that. I especially do that more so with Paint Gem minis than I do with any other, but it's getting some used. But yeah, I'm not sure what I want for 2024. I do need to think about it. Lady Dax, she says, oh Rebecca, she says she wishes that they got the crystal drills in day 1. She said, as you say, they would have looked really good scattered in the white background. She said, maybe she'll go back and swap a few out. She said she is still battling with headaches at the moment, so she thinks she'll be taking a trip to the optician soon. Yes, because that could very well be the reason that you're getting headaches. That and keep your fluids up. They tend to be the two things. If you don't normally have headaches and then you get headaches quite often, they can be the two things. I know I've had one recently that sort of niggled over the course of a couple of days, and I realised it was liquids and not having enough liquids over those few days. So correcting that has made them disappear. Roz, she says, revelation. She says, you've done it again, Rebecca. She finally found all of her stuff out of boxes and set up her diamond painting station. She said day 9. She said, so she thought she'd just do it her normal way. No, she says she wants it to be for real. She stuck the cover papers on her painting and decided to save day 1 to 8 to the end. She did day 9 while listening to me and felt the world was back to normal, she said. House move and broken shoulder. She says, you are not the only one that can waffle. Sorry, she says, revelation is your brilliant cover papers. The paper backing, she said, is genius. Other papers stick to your palm and can unpeel. She said yours are cool and stay in place. She says no sticky palms anymore. Oh, is that like when you lean on them and they can end up sticking to your hand? I know that can happen with the others when they're double-sided. She says, thanks as ever for everything. I know others can curl up a bit more as well. Ours are thicker than normal cover paper, even than our normal double-sided cover paper. Ours is a lower quality. Sorry, the double-sided is a thinner quality than our printed. We could have actually got the same thickness as our standard paper to print on, but we'd already tested printing with the thicker stuff and we just couldn't go back to the thinner. We could have got it easier to manage from our supplier, a lot easier to sort of deal with than huge rolls of it, but yeah, we just didn't like it the same way. So yeah, we've been speaking with our supplier and they are able to make things a little bit easier for us in relation to the cutting paper or cover paper, which is great. But yeah, we prefer the thicker stuff. I find it's a lot more durable. It'll bend back and stuff as well once I've rolled up a painting. So, but yes, I'm glad you are joining in on the right day and everything feels back to normal, move or not. Even in the middle of a move, things are back to normal. Great Trish said, will you be putting the silver diamonds in the sections between the halves that go together? She said she'd think probably not. No, so for all the areas that have symbols, like in effect the halves that I'm choosing, I'm not putting the diamonds. I'm only putting it where there's the dotted line for you to, if you want to, cut the separate images out. I'm just putting it there because for this canvas I'm going to keep it together, because I already have one that's cut apart that I did as an example, to be able to showcase on the video what I was planning, or how, you know, the original plan was for the painting to be used. though it doesn't have to be used in the way it was planned, if that makes sense. Debbie says she's using my cover paper and it's so nice. She says she's using the sunflower one and she loves it. She says she'll definitely be getting more. Yeah, that's becoming everybody's new problem, I think. It's definitely becoming mine. I had an addiction to different designs we could make the cover paper in. So much so that we have, I can't remember if it hit 200 different designs. It definitely got to 100 different designs all lined up already that we want to do. And that's before we mess with any other ideas that we've also got floating around in our heads to do. So yeah, my new addiction has been cover paper designs. And what we can potentially print on cover paper, and I do have them all, of course, in my stash, and that seems to be the problem that a few other people are facing as well now, is they want to order cover paper designs, and I don't blame them, because matching the cover paper to the painting I'm doing is becoming just as much fun as the painting itself. I'm currently using the Holly, one of our Christmas ranges, with the Diamond Art Studio painting, and it just makes me smile every time I move my sections about, because I think it's pretty. Right, I've been doing sort of, while I've let whatever colours down here decide where I start, I have been doing it by colour and completing. So I completed all the reds, now I've completed all the greens, but now my lowest and to the left colour is the blue. So I will start with this letter blue, but then I'll do all the flower before I move on to the yellow. So it's just a little bit different way of doing it. Deb P said, hi Rebecca. She said you sound so much better than you did. Thank you. She said she's glad I'm feeling better. She has been binge listening to all the WIP and Waffles over the last couple of days. She said she was not able to start on December 1st because her daughter and 3-month-old grandson were here for a nice long visit for a week. Oh, that is a wonderful reason. Why? A wonderful reason why you weren't listening. She said she loved it. She says while she is listening, she is working on making a Christmas stocking for her grandson. It has embroidery, sequins, beads and stuffing. A much bigger project than she thought it would be. Aren't they always? These craft projects look so adorable, and then you realise how long they're taking. She says she's loving all the little gifts in the Advent calendar. But her favourite so far is the pick-up pen. She said it's perfect for her AB diamonds. She says thank you so much for this event. She's enjoying it so much, and she said take care. Oh, thank you. I'm glad you're enjoying it. It's amazing how many people don't have things like an AB pen and things like that. There are many that do, but as say, a spare can never go amiss. It will get used at some point, because even if you don't diamond plate in multiple places, things like to go missing when you need them. So having a spare is always good. But yeah, I'm surprised the grip mat had quite as many questions as it did, though it isn't the standard shape of a grip mat, so maybe that's why, because it was a round one instead of one of the sort of more rectangle type ones. But yeah, it's fun to see. Diana, she says hi. Oh, she says, she says she's tried to enter the giveaway. It's asked for a YouTube name and she's put in her YouTube name. However, it doesn't show up the same way as it shows up on the screen for her comments. She says she thought she'd ask if she is still entered in the giveaway. Yes, we will be able to tell both sort of your full username and your username that shows up in comments. That will still, we'll still be able to confirm you're a subscriber with that, so that's fine. She says it said duplicates would be thrown out. She says she doesn't know what that means exactly. That basically means if the same person enters with the same email address and stuff more than once, then we will only keep one of them. That's all that means. So if somebody hits submit on the form, maybe their computer has a glitch and they hit submit again, only one of them would be kept. Or if somebody enters on one day and then enters again a week later, so they end up with 2 entries on the list, we will delete one of them. The other one will remain, but yeah, we just to make it fair, everybody gets 1 entry. So that's what we mean by duplicates. She says she doesn't think she'd win anything, but she'd be sad if she messed up and wouldn't be entered at all. No, you would still have 1 entry. You just wouldn't have the second. So you wouldn't have double the chance that anybody else does to win. It's only the duplicates, the extras, that get removed. So don't worry about that. Of course, if somebody did decide to enter every single day of December, then we might have words with that person about blocking up the entries too much. But no, it's all the duplicate entries that would get removed if people have made mistakes or computers have had glitches and things like that. She says she's glad I'm getting better. She said next year she is also going to sign up for the daily brown bags that came with the advent. She said that's nice surprises that you have. Yeah, that is our 24-day advent calendar that was available from July through to right near the beginning of end of November, I think. The last one sold. Then we did have another one that was a cancelled one that we were able to put up, but that one went to somebody on the wait list. So she says she's living on social security and a teeny pension, so she just got the diamond painting this year. She says but she will get the package next year. Well, give you a chance to save up, and we do try and make that one available for a lot longer so that people can get it when it's convenient for them. Susan, she said, oh yes, she said my day 8 is very useful. She said she got a pretty pink tape measure and she loves it. Yeah, there's a few different colours of them, but everybody got a tape measure, just different colours. She said the painting she's working on is a round, and she's using her white zesty tray, and then they can take a little bit more jiggling for them to line up. I think it can depend a lot on the diamonds. Round ones, depending on where the painting's from, can often be a lot more different sizes, I find, and quite often that can make a difference as to how easy they line up or not. I've had some diamonds from some manufacturers that line up absolutely perfect, never have any problem, and then I have some that just are so many different sizes. I can only get, you know, the majority of them to line up, and some just never want to do it. Right, I have got a little bit more blue up here, so I'm just going to do that little bit of pale blue. Oh, it helps if I don't end up with two that are together straight afterwards. Susan also said, funny story, her Maine Coon cat Molly appears to be fascinated by the diamonds in the tray. She's sitting on her pillow on top of the wooden storage drawer, watching me like a hawk. She said if she moves the tray, she's following it. She said it was making me a little nervous. Sorry, I'm just finding my next colour. A little nervous at first because she thought she was getting ready to pounce. She's so adorable. Maybe it's the light reflecting off them as well. There is quite a bit of light that can reflect off them when you shake them about. She said, another fabulous day of waffling. She says now she's off to day 9. Thank you for sharing. Lily says she loves the improvisation of the borders. She said, have a great day. Yeah, it was a bit impromptu. Shall I just do this? Why not? Sometimes you've just got to go with the flow. ML Book, she said she was going to suggest the ear piercing words. I feel like I'm speaking dead fast today, but I don't know. It's one of them days today because I've been cleaning the house. She said she was going to suggest the ear piercing for migraine, she says, and then you read the comment from someone who has them. She says her sister-in-law has migraines and they have dramatically reduced the frequency of her headaches. She also says that when she has them, they aren't as severe. She said it strikes her as a worthwhile option to try, as it's only a small bit invasive, can't get my words. She says not very expensive, but can give results quickly. And that's true, unless there is any, you know, other reason that you can't, won't, don't want to have a piercing, in effect, an ear piercing, then I can understand sort of why. But I don't know, is it actually piercing or is it sort of squeezing together? I don't know. But even if it is a piercing, they're, you know, people do it every day. It's not a high pain thing. And if it gets rid of the pain from headaches, then that's got to be a winner. Susan, she says she's so glad that I used the crystals. She said she's hoping that she didn't break my eardrums with her yelling, saying use the crystals. She said she thinks that it is going to look so cool. I think it'll look good. I think they're a nice little addition. A little bit different. She says she loves the crystals we got today. She says they don't really go with the painting she's currently working on, but she will use them on the next round one that she does. Yeah, they won't work on every painting, but I think they will work on more paintings than potentially some other drills would. And when I try and add ABs to the sort of mix, when I've been doing that with other paintings, I think I forget the rhinestones as much as maybe I should. At least the silver clear ones. I think I should add them in more than I do. She says, thanks again for sharing part of your day with us. She says it really brightens her day to paint along with me. Oh, thank you, Susan. It's lovely to paint along with everybody. I feel like I'm a bit more out of breath today as well, but that's because I've just had my tea before I came in here, so. And it was a rather nice tea, I will say. Okay, W. Get some yellow. Magic Moonchild says she loves the rhinestones so much. Thank you. I can't believe these comments were left on day 9 and we're already on day 14. I feel like I didn't add the rhinestones that long ago. I mean, it gets better. I think I start adding them pretty much every single picture will end up with some now. I guess we'll find out as we go along, but yeah, doesn't feel like it was that long ago that I added the first little bit of rhinestones up the top. Bex, she said she did something similar to my mum when she first hung up her Heaven and Earth design diamond painting. She said it was almost as tall and about 4 times as wide as Little Dreamer's tree. So she needed something a lot stronger to hold the weight. She said she bought skirting boards, the pieces of wood that run along the base of the wall. Yeah, some people call it trim, I think. She says they're about 2 inches wide with completely flat backs, and she sandwiched them to the top and bottom of the canvas. She says a bit like the magnetic holders, but of course a lot wider. She used screws and PVA glue to hold them together. She said it's been a year and she's had no issues with it holding the weight. She says she can highly recommend for any oversized projects. That's good to know. The only thing I found with White Christmas, and it could be the way I've hung it. So the magnetic bar's working great, not moved at all. But I have used, I'm actually using 2 stocking holders. You know, the hooks that have the weight to hang on the likes of a fireplace and then go down and will hold your Christmas stocking. Because we have a windowsill, in effect, in the roof, just before the roof starts at the top of our conservatory. So it's basically a very, very high windowsill. I've got them hooked on there, and then White Christmas is hanging off that. And the only thing I've found is that because the edge is so long, it sort of wants to curl in on itself a little bit. Now, I think that is because it's been hung on this windowsill, it is away from the wall a little bit. So once we get a proper hook into the wall, I'll see what it's like. But what I might do, if not, is just get a thin piece of beading, a flat beading or a flat piece of wood, and actually sort of pin it behind the painting when it's up to keep it flat. That's the only thing I've found with it. And I say, I think it's because it's hanging away from the wall, because of the way we've got it up. But I think once I put a normal hook in the wall and hang it from that, it'll be fine. But we went for what was easy. Excuse me. Kim says the peanut butter and marshmallow cream sandwich is called a fluffernutter. in her neck of the US. She says she's never had it with bananas, but she might be willing to give it a shot. She said, a question for you. She says, what are the difference between resin and acrylic drills? And how can you tell if your painting came with resin or acrylic if the company doesn't make it clear? The resin are the higher quality diamonds, so you tend to get the more shine and stuff. You can often tell if you have a painting, I know it's more apparent in squares than it is in rounds, but you know when you tend to have little bubbles, what looks like little bubbles over a diamond, that tends to be, it's been resin. They tend to be like a byproduct of resin diamonds. I think the acrylic ones might be the ones that tend to be more misshapen. But other than that, I'm not exactly sure off the top of my head without doing a Google search what's the easiest way to tell the difference. Resin do tend to suffer with static a bit more as well. But I say they are the better quality ones. But you can often find they're the ones with bubbles or with static. But they shine more. And they tend to be more uniform. That's my understanding of it anyway. And my experience. But there's probably definitely a better way of describing it than what I have. Jo, she said, happy 9th of December, everyone. She said, yesterday she completed the cross stitch. She said it was such a quick and fun project to do. She said it looks great too. Nice little side step into cross stitch there. Jo does a lot of cross stitch. From, I think it was WIP Waffle, Jo was doing a cross stitch as well. But yeah, it's definitely a cute little one. If you've cross stitched before, it doesn't take long. If you haven't cross stitched before, it would potentially take a bit longer. Just because you're learning something new. She says she's enjoying the advent. She waits up until 12:01 AM so that she can open the gifts immediately. Love it. She said, as always, thank you for all that you do. User C1A9S, etc. She said, hello. She says she's new here. She said, can somebody tell me what waffle means? She's seen it and Googled it, but with no luck. I think it's a bit more of a UK term. It's just like a chat. It's like more like chatting and chatting and chatting and chatting is what we call a waffle. Waffling. You're talking lots. You're going on about the same subject in lots of different ways. Yeah, I'm known to be a waffler, and it's apparent because I film these videos and spend about an hour just chatting to you all. So it's just another word for chat, or for lots of chatting. Tabby said, good morning, Rebecca and community. She said, nice whip and waffle. She says, listening to you talk about your current whips has her contemplating putting a schedule for herself. She said between diamond painting and crochet, she has multiple whips in the works. She says she is also starting her very first cross stitch soon. She said her sister lost her fur baby recently, and she wanted to give her a memorial for her. Oh, bless. She says she has a beautiful picture that she converted to pixel art, and hopefully she said it will turn out close to perfect. She said she hopes I have a great day. I hope you have a really good day too. Pass on our love to your sister, and I'm sure she will love it. But yeah, every now and then I do just need to rein in the projects that I've got on the go. I end up adding more because I'm feeling good about all the ones that I'm doing. And then all of a sudden, you know, different week in the same month, that sort of thing hits me and I go, okay, I've got too many projects on the go. I need to tidy these up and I need to organise them so I feel better. And we just repeat that cycle. But hey, you guys are with me for it. It's all good. Trish, she said last year she put up her tree. She says the kind that has lights already on. And for the life of me, she said she couldn't find her ornaments at all. She looked everywhere, but with no luck. So she kept the tree up with just the lights and thought for sure the ornaments would show up when they took the tree down. She said nope. She said when I put the tree up this year and she still can't find those ornaments. So she broke down and buy new ones. She says, you know, she says just as soon as I take the tree down this year, she'll find those lost ornaments somewhere. Quite possibly. And what you need to do then is sort of mix things up a little bit and mix some of the new with the old and maybe change your colour scheme a little bit. I've slowly changed quite a few of mine. I add 1 or 2 different ornaments in, new ones in each year, along the white, silver, neutral colour palette. I add different ones in. So a lot of the ornaments on my tree are completely different to each other. They just follow that sort of colour. And then I have a set of cheaper baubles in a colour that then go on the tree. So I can change. They're copper at the moment. They have been for the last couple of years, a coppery brown colour, because I'm loving it. But I was actually thinking of changing to like a deep navy or a deep green next year. And I can just change those cheap baubles, but keep all my white and silver ones that are all different. So that's what I've been doing over the past 8 to 10 years. I think slowly sort of building up my individual ones. So that the tree has all different types of ornaments, but then adding in colour with just your standard ornament bauble ones. So maybe you can use it as an excuse to do that too, Trish. Just keep your favourites and mix and match them up a little bit. Okay, that is day 14 done. Though if you're still in the mood for diamond painting, of course, move straight on to your Advent goodie bag instead. But yeah, we've got another one complete. Where are we going tomorrow? Where is 15? Oh, it's up here. So we go up here to 15. In fact, we'll be doing 3 different parts of rhinestones around that one when we get the books finished up the top. Somebody mentioned they were putting the books for September. I think, was it September, back to school? Somebody was putting in them for? Yeah. Anyway, there's lots of ideas floating about what month each people think each sort of little section is for. So that's quite fun. But anyway, thank you all so much for being here and for watching. And I'll speak to you all again tomorrow.